Hi, this is Nikki. I just thought I would show you the journal I made for my holiday, which I got back from a few days ago. I'm in my garden, so there might be some background noise, which I'm hoping won't be too distracting. And I'm trying to do this a different way so that you can see both my hands for a change, rather than doing it one-handed. So we'll see. And there's some noisy birds already joining in. The cover's not changed very much. It did start to wear a little bit, so I used some washi tape that I bought in America, just to protect that a little bit. I think it was where it was in my rucksack. So inside then I start sort of on the day we travel. Talked here about being at the airport, and then we drove from the airport in Chicago down to Starved Rock, and this was the welcome to Starved Rock. So I put that in there, and there's just a few leaflets from around the lodge. As you go in there, it's talked about being on the plane, and then the first morning of the holiday here, talked about what we did, what we saw, then continue on, and then this was like the note paper you get in your room, don't you? So what I did was I just washi taped that in. There's obviously a Native American legend that goes with the area, and I wrote it down there just for reference, really. So more writing here what we did, because it was a state park there. It was a lot of walks and things like that, so there was not much to get ephemera from, shall I say. So it's all about me writing and that. And then we drove into Chicago, and we booked into a new hotel. We went on a boat tour of the river there, talking about the architecture of the buildings in that area. It was really, really interesting. So I talk about that, and there's the tickets. And then we went up on the sky deck, and then to the Navy Pier. And then whilst we were there as well, not far from our hotel was the park, and they were having a blues festival. It was that weekend of the blues festival, and so obviously we called there a couple of times. We saw this guy on stage. He was really good with his band, and so I tore this out of one of the magazines that they give you, programs about the festival, just to remind me who I saw. Then we went to the museum, the Art Institute, and this was the program, and it shows some of the fantastic paintings that were in there. Absolutely fantastic. But the one I really wanted to see, the American Gothic, was on loan and was in New York. So that was a bit disappointing, but saw some other things. Saw the Surratt, which was just magnificent. It was enormous as well. Never imagined it would be that big. Then we, what's this one? Talk about here. I think the last day we were there was really, really rainy and foggy, and it was just horrible. So we went on the elevated train and went round, and there was a street art festival on, which was really depressing in the rain, but we walked up and down, had a look, and stopped for a few beers and ice cream, because it was still warm even though it was so rainy. And this was somebody's business card, and I just couldn't resist it. Isn't it gorgeous? There were several other different ones, and I would have took one of every one, but that's a bit naughty, isn't it? So I only managed to get the one, but isn't it beautiful? Just love that. And then talking about us going out for the evening. Then we get on a plane and we flew to Florida. We flew into Fort Lauderdale, which is where we went last year, and we stopped at a different hotel, but this was my husband's favourite ice cream place, so we obviously went there to get some ice cream and cool down in the sun, and yeah, it was lovely. We only stayed there a couple of days because we were driving across southern Florida over to Sanibel and Captiva. But on the way, we stopped at a Hobby Lobby. Never been to a Hobby Lobby before, dead excited. And got some sales, good sales stuff. There was 30% off Tim Holtz stuff. And then I went into a Michael's and they'd got like 70% off the 12 by 12 paper pads, and then they got 3 washi tapes for $1, so that's like 25 pence for a washi, for a reel of washi tape. 25p, I mean, that's amazing, isn't it, to us? Anyway, so these are the ones I chose. I mean, there was several baskets full of them, and I could have bought back a bag full, but you know, my husband has restrictions on what we can bring back. So I like this one with the numbers on, and I think they go up to about 50 and then it counts back down. This says good things, hello, nice to see you, that type of thing. It says hello as well. This says take note, goals, important, remember this, those type of things. This one repeats all the way through, life is good, but in different stages of on faded blue background. And then this one I just adored with all the different hearts. So they were the 6 I got, and so they were £1.50, the equivalent of £1.50. Just amazing, eh? Anyway, then we carried on and we went to the resort we were staying at in Sanibel Island, which was the island inn. Really beautiful. We had a downstairs apartment straight onto the beach. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, these bits here are from one of the paper pads I bought, 12 by 12, and it got a whole sheet of them. So I cut some out. Because we were staying at like a resort, the place we had was a kitchen, not that I ever cook or anything. But there was scissors in the drawer, so I was able to cut some things out. And I got a postcard here just to sort of show where we were. So we landed here at Fort Lauderdale and we sort of drove across to over this way a little bit. And then we're going to end up driving up here as well to St. Petersburg near there. So just as a little map. I talk about our first evening there. We sat on the beach and we watched the sunset. Had some rum punches just to keep us going. What else? Then we'll talk about here what we did the next day. And so there's some of my washi tape, you know. So got to use it, haven't you? Little bits I'd picked up. This was a business card that I really like the fish. Some shells. This was the label off a dress I'd bought and I really liked it, so I just put it in there. In here, some information about the shells on the beach, and there was also, it was sort of turtle hatching season, so there was warnings about what you can and can't do if there's turtles on the beach. This was one of the, I want to say Project Life, but I don't think it is, but it was a journaling card I took with me, so I stuck it down and put the places we've been. We went fishing one day out on a boat. This was the card they left us with a basket of fruit and wine in our room, so I just put that in because it shows a nice picture of the beach. Another word from my scrapbook paper. And here talking about fishing, and when you go fishing, they only kill the things that you can eat. We're not going to eat it, put it straight back. But we had a couple of fishes that were edible, and so when you charter a boat, when they bring you back in, they gut the fish and prepare it all for you, put it in a bag, and then there are certain places you can take it and the restaurants will cook it for you, and they'll serve it up with some accompaniments and you just pay for them and just the cooking service. So it's really, really good, and we've done that before, so we did that again this time. So I talk about that, and the other things we did while we were out fishing. Here, just got this from a magazine because we saw hundreds of brown pelicans, talking about that there, and just talking about a shopping trip. That's one of the places we went to get ice cream, and this is the restaurant where we go and get our fish cooked when we've been fishing, and I just drew a picture of it. I don't know if you can guess what it is from that, but it's called the Lazy Flamingo. So that's my Lazy Flamingo, and I just happened to have a pinkish gel pen, so I coloured it in a little bit. Okay, so next day we were out and about around the island, and then the Sunday it was Father's Day, so we went to out to dinner, to more ice creams, and then we went swimming, which is a real shocker. Absolutely, some beautiful beaches we went on, some that were just all shells, some that was just white, like white powder, just incredible. So I've sort of done my journaling here. It was another one of those cards from the scrapbook paper. One of the craft shop on the island is mostly fabrics though, unfortunately, so that wasn't very exciting. And then here's a bit about a lighthouse we went to see. Let's put that in my envelope. This is one of the places we went. This was from a promotional magazine, and I just wanted to show how beautiful it was. I hope you can see that. It's gorgeous. And then we had the most wonderful day on the beach. My husband was like fishing, wading in from the shoreline. I sat further up the beach looking at shells, swimming, and then we both, when he'd had enough fishing, we both got in the water and swam. And then we were just swimming along, and this dolphin just swam straight by us. It was just like, wow, absolutely. And look, I doodled a little picture of the dolphin. Absolutely wonderful. This was one of those cards, so I just made it into a little pocket and put in one of my journaling cards in there. And then, what else? So this is one of the restaurants we went to on the island, and I just took the beer mat just to stick in. Some more page from the notepad at this resort, so I just used that as an additional page talking about the turtle season. Drew a picture of our key. I think that was the only hotel we'd had this holiday with a real key in it. So then we moved on to St. Petersburg, and we stayed at St. Pete Beach, which is the beach we got married on. So although we didn't stop at this hotel then, this was just down the beach from the hotel we got married at, the beach we got married in. So that was lovely, and this was like the welcome letter, and I cut those out to remind me what it looked like. Not that you can forget because it's enormous. Now the pub we went to, we also went to the Darling Museum. This had moved to a new place. It had a purpose-built museum. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. And this is one of the, they give you this bookmark, this is one of the fabulous paintings. This is Christopher Columbus coming to America, and this is Darley's wife, who's in a lot of his paintings. And then talk about a museum, and then from so I got more pictures there. That's a car parking place we went to in a big park. We'd paid like $5 an hour at some places, and this was like all day for $5, and you could leave the park, come back, you could drive around, move to different places. It was like, God, some places rip you off for car parking, and others are so generous. This was a place we went to, and we had a huge cocktail. So this would be like a normal size cocktail, and this was the size of ours. It's like incredible. So I took the business card there and wrote all about that. Bits from leaflets and flyers. Oh, there's a bit from the Darling Museum and some shells. And in here I've got some receipts and stuff just to help me. This was the pamphlet from the hotel, and this was like the view from the pool, so you could actually be sat in the pool and look down the beach and see the sea. It was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. A couple of the places we also visit. Then there's another place I bought washi tape that came in this like little hanging box, and it was so cute. So what I did was I cut the flap off and then stuck it on here just to make sort of like the pull out, which I thought, try and use as much junk as possible. And there's a leaflet about the Darling Museum, and here there's some of the pictures of sort of the highlights of the museum, and a quote from Salvador Dali. It's another picture that I really like, and so I've just stuck that there just to flap over the journaling. Getting towards the end of the holiday now, unfortunately. And so we spent a lot of time just chilling on the pool and on the beach, and this was the band they give you to prove that you're a resident, so you can go to the pool and use the facilities and things. So I just saved mine and chopped it up, put it in here, and then just talking about us packing, going home. Last few days of the holiday, as I say. Got a couple of postcards here. This was sort of shells we'd been collecting all the time we were there. This was off my luggage. This was some of that washi tape. Again, this was about the hotel, the last one, on the St. Pete Beach. And then this was Stop Wishing and Start Doing. That was the a bit I cut out for one of the paper pads I had. In here I've got loads of receipts, and then that's the end. And that was my whole holiday. That's all over. So if you've got any questions, please let me know, and I will show a video later on in the week of the stuff I bought while I was in America, craft stuff, and see what you think. The prices were amazing. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye bye.